right, Shalom. I'm Kalaksan Banyashala, and
Atayala Bayashala.
all right, we're coming out of the Lions Den camp, coming with a quick lesson. But before we get started, we want to give all glory and praise to the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, in the proper true name in the Hebrew. I say, Kal, Alayim, La, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Ha, Rakah, Kodash, Ma. Double honors to the elder apostles, the great millstone, our elder Harold as well. Salutations to the Akim that are pushing the truth and sincerity and the truth. And peace and blessing to the men, women, and children that believe in the name of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Right. In this lesson is going to be some clarification on when it refers to with the angels with wings in the Bible, in the scriptures. All right. So the angels don't have like wings out of the back, like coming out of their back, like how you see like with Cupid or something like that. That goes all back to Greek mythology, man.
Renaissance art.
Yeah, Renaissance art. That goes all to the ways of Esau. So just for edification purposes, man, we want to clarify that point. So if anybody's teaching that the angels have wings on their body, you're going off, man. All right, this is John chapter 4, verse 23. It said, "But the hour cometh, and now is when the true worshipers shall worship the Father in spirit and in truth. For the Father seeketh such to worship him. Yahweh is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth." All right, so that's and we worship in the spirit of Yahweh Shai, and that's how we're being able to be drawn back to the Father. But the scripture says, no one can come to me unless my Father draw him. All right, so he has to draw you with the spirit of the truth, the Holy Spirit, man. All right, so we just want to go into some edification, for clarification, edification on what the reference of wings mean in the scriptures. All right.
This is Sirach 3:21. Seek not out the things that are too hard for thee, neither search the things that are above thy strength.
Right. So now, like, everybody has to start out with the milk when they come into the truth. You know what I'm saying? And from the milk, you grow, because you start out as a babe in the truth, man. No matter how old you are, when you first come into the truth, you are a babe. You cannot put new wine in old bottles. You got to pour out everything that you once thought you knew in the beginning before you came into the truth. All right, and until you're able to eat the meat, don't seek out the things that are too hard for thee, too hard for your understanding. So stay in your lane and stay in your proper perspective, so that therefore you can seek the milk, because the milk is very important, just like the meat and the mysteries are important. All right, so just like Apostle Har likes to say, sometimes we got to go back to the basics. All right, to strengthen ourselves in the milk. All right, to make sure, you know what I'm saying, keep our mind refreshed on the things that we've learned when we first came in the truth. You know what I'm saying? So we stay vibrant in the truth. All right. So there's no need to jump straight into the meat if you're not ready. All right. Wait upon that time, and the Lord will increase you. Don't try to exalt yourself. All right. Yeah.
This is Sirach 20 in verse 5. There is one that keepeth silence and is found wise.
All right. So I myself, a testimony myself. You know, I've been in situations where it's a slip of the tongue, right? But there's one that slip of the tongue, but not slipping of the heart, roughly paraphrasing. So, but we got to be mindful that everything that's spoken out of our mouth, because we don't want to cause a stumbling block for other individuals, especially if we have a respective place in this truth, and we have a lot of younger brothers or anybody that looks up to us in the truth. Right, the words we say out of our mouth, they're going to take heed to those words. And if you're falsifying or saying something that's false, all right, you could cause somebody to go off just by a mistake. So if you don't know something about a topic, don't even speak on it. And what the best thing to do is go and study that topic, and then clarify yourself the next time you're out teaching, or the next time you do, or do a video on it. Study upon it, get the proper breakdown, the proper perspective, proper context of the scriptures, and do a video on it. Once you've learned, and the Lord puts the Spirit on you till you have that understanding.
And it's back in Sirach 20 and 5. There is one that keepeth silence and is found wise.
All right, so and that's what a wise man will do. If he doesn't have a full understanding of something, he's going to keep silence. All right, until he has that understanding, and that's what a wise man will do. All right.
And another, by much babbling, becometh hateful.
All right, becomes hateful, because that's a hateful thing to put a lie into the minds of the people that truly believe in Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, into the elect. All right.
Some man holdeth his tongue because he have not to answer.
Some man holdeth his tongue because he have not to answer. And that's the wise thing to do. Because you don't have the answer. If you don't know the answer 100%, just hold your tongue. Don't say nothing.
You'd rather not add or take away from the word.
Come. Good point, bro.
And some keepeth silence, knowing his time.
Some keep silence, knowing his time. So know your time. Knowing, like, go pray on it. That's what I do. Personal testimony, I pray on it. If there's something I don't understand, I pray on it. Then I go to the elders. Because not everybody's going to be able to open this book and look and break everything down. Some of us are going to have to be taught. But even with that, if there are some people that you can read it to them front and backwards and give them the proper breakdown and everything, they still won't be able to get it and understand. So the fact that you have to be taught this truth does not make you any less of the person that got to the water before you and is teaching you how to drink. You know?
All right. A wise man will hold his tongue till he see opportunity, but a babbler and a fool will regard no time.
All right. And somebody that's trying to profess himself being wise, all right, knowledge puffed up, but charity edified. And that's what we have to be careful. All right. Matter of fact, let me see if I can find that real quick. That's first or second.
What the handling the word of God deceitfully?
No, it says knowledge puffed up. We know that we all have knowledge, but knowledge puffed up, but charity edifies. You can look it up on your phone. Oh, I got it. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 8, verse 1. It says, now touching things offered unto idols, we know that we all have knowledge. Knowledge puffed up, but charity edifieth. And if any man think that he hath knowledge, knoweth anything, he knoweth not yet as he ought to know. All right. So, you know, a lot of times we got to examine ourselves to see if we have the proper understanding of certain things before we bring them out, or before we even speak on them. Man, if you don't have the true understanding or full understanding of it, just jump over it. Don't just wing it, man, because you'll find yourself being at fault. All right, putting stumbling blocks out there. All right, just by a slip of the tongue. All right. So, which we gonna get the Ezekiel, yeah. All right, so going into, for edification purposes, going into the proper breakdown of the wings being the chariots in the scriptures. All right.
This is Ezekiel 1, and we'll start at verse 4. Get straight to the point. And I looked, and behold, a whirlwind came out of the north.
All right, so that's a tumultuous wind coming out of the sky. All right.
A great cloud, chariot.
Yeah, our cloud, which means, all right, hold on. With that being said, a great cloud, right? And how is Shai going to return? All right, this is Revelation chapter 1, verse 7. It says, all right, behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him, even they also which pierced him. All the kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him, even so, Amen. All right, those clouds that he's coming in is a covering, which means a chariot. The same clouds that was a covering by day and a light by night when we came out of Egypt. All right.
It's quick interjection. This Numbers 9 and 16. So it was always the cloud covered it by day and the appearance of fire by night. Just to back the brother up, man. Found in Numbers 9 and 16. All right. How in the appearance of the chariots in the daytime would be seen to be a cloud. All right. And at night, all right, appearance by fire.
All right. And covering from the sun, covering from the scourge of the sun. And a light, you know what I'm saying, at night. All right. And that's spiritual too, you know.
It's back in Ezekiel 1 and verse 4. And a fire enfolding in itself.
Oh, you start over.
It's back in Ezekiel 1 and 4. And I looked, and behold, a whirlwind came out of the north, a great cloud, and a fire enfolding itself, and a brightness was about it, and out of the midst thereof, as the color of amber, out of the midst of the fire.
All right, so when the Lord shows up, now this isn't his fleet right here. But when the Lord shows up, all right, when those chariots show up, mind you, that they're gonna start burning, they're gonna burn the air. That's how powerful they're gonna be, man. They're gonna be consuming what this atmosphere, the elements in this atmosphere. All right. All right, so now in the midst of that, you're gonna have the lights of the chariots. All right, go ahead.
Verse 5, also out of the midst thereof came the likeness of 4 living creatures.
Mm-hmm.
And this was Salakia, was their appearance. They had the likeness of a man.
Boom, they had the likeness of a man. All right, the likeness of a man. It says also out of the midst came the likeness of 4 living creatures. And this was their appearance. They had the likeness of a man. So this is what's inside those chariots. The likeness of a man. You can get and creatures just means creation. We're considered creatures also. You can get Romans 18 and 20 real quick, Baba Kushah.
This is Romans 18.
8 Salakia.
8 and 20.
All right, it might be 8 and further up. 20. All right, no, 8 and 20, that's it.
For the creature was made subject to vanity.
Ooh, the creature was made subject to vanity, made subject to sin. That's talking about us, talking about in the beginning, the Adamites. All right, read it again, Baba Kushah.
Romans 8 and 20. Romans 8 and 20. For the creature was made subject to vanity, not willingly, but by reason of him who have subject the same in hope.
All right, go up to Baba Kushah, verse 18. What does it say?
For I reckon that the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared.
All right, go ahead. We'll start at 19, Baba Kushah.
This verse 19.
So let's go into that creature, what it's talking about. All right, so creature just means creation. Because we're considered creatures also. That doesn't mean they look like monsters or anything like that, okay?
We're like Esau.
All right, we're waiting for that, all right? Subject the same in hope. So now we were subject to sin, all right? To put us for Yahweh to show us that he's the power and he put us in a position of hope. Because the only way we can get out here is through hope. And what is the synonym for hope? Faith. All right, so he set it up for us. The only way to be able to get out of here is to turn back to him and have faith, because he turned his face away from us, so now we were powerless. Now he turned his face back by sending the spirit of Yahweh Shai, pouring the spirit of Yahweh Shai down here upon this earth. All right, and you go back to Ezekiel. So that's just going into the point of the creatures. The angels don't look like freaking men. They damn sure don't look like Esau.
They look like men.
I mean, Slacker. The angels look like men. The water.
Not monsters.
Not monsters. Not
aliens,
monsters.
So
or aliens or nothing like that. They damn sure don't look like Esau, and they damn sure don't look like Cupid.
You know Cupid, yeah, with wings on their back, running around, flying butt naked.
All right, yeah, that's all goes back to Greek mythology, man.
And this is Ezekiel 1 and verse 5. Also out of the midst thereof came the likeness of 4 living creatures, and this was their appearance. They had the likeness of a man.
So imagine you seeing imagine you being Ezekiel, and this is your first time seeing this. All right, they had the likeness of a man. So he's looking in the sky and he's seeing the elements burning and everything, and he's seeing fire in the midst of a fire, lights in the midst of a fire.
Like, I know it's creatures up there.
He's like, I'm like, man, what is that up there? Like,
they look like men.
They look like men. Like, wait, I know I can't. He said that he referencing to man because he's never seen a man in that position before. He's never seen a man in the air on a vessel flying that's consuming the elements of the earth. So he was like, man, those look like men, but his mind, can they be men? Because he's never seen a man do that before. So she said, this is the likeness of the creatures, is the likeness of a man.
That's why you take the example of Yahweh Shai having that in Revelations 1 and 13. Right, of his body. All right, how to describe his body, man.
Describing his likeness. All right.
We'll go back. Hey, Yahweh Shai, he doesn't have wings, man. It didn't describe that in Revelations 1 and 13 being the point. All right. But he's in his glorified, he's already in his glorified form. All right.
And John, all right, this is Revelations chapter 1, verse 1. It said, the revelation of Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, which Yahweh gave unto him to show unto his servants the things which must shortly come to pass. And I'm going to skip over to verse 13. In the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like to the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to the foot, and they girded about the paps with their golden girdle. Now, Yahweh Shai being the top, all right, angelic being, all right, the top messenger of Yahweh, right? This is the image in the description. It doesn't say anything about him having wings, all right, on his body. All right, it says, verse 13, it says, and in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to the foot, and they girded about the paps with a golden girdle. His head and his hairs were like white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire, and his feet were like unto fine brass, as if they burned in a furnace, and his voice was as the sound of many waters. All right, so it's giving a description of an angelic, powerful force, all right, Yahweh Shai, right, and his likeness, him looking like us, but in his glorified body, which we're going to have that, Lord willing, I'm part of that number. We're going to be glorified in that day, all right, when he shows up to give us crowns. All right, back in Ezekiel.
This back in Ezekiel 1 and 5. Also out of the midst thereof came likeness of 4 living creatures, and this was their appearance. They had the likeness of a man, and every one had 4 faces, and every one had 4 wings.
Right, all right, boom. So every one had 4 faces, meaning duties, and every one had all right, there are 4 generals, all right, and everyone had 4 wings. All right, so now that's them being in a V formation. The head, all right, and then 2 on this flank and 2 on that flank. Okay. All right, set up in battle formation or like a meeting. All right, go ahead.
Verse 7, and their feet were straight feet.
All right, and their path was straightforward, righteous path. All right, going to handle business.
Okay.
All right.
And the sole of their feet was like the sole of a calf's foot.
So now this is what what was under them being on top of the chariots. This is the bottom. All right.
Okay, because the Lord chose the cloud, the winds, and the cloud was the chariots to ride upon, not wings to ultimately to fly upon. Even though man it can fly.
Right.
All right.
Right.
So verse 7.
Yeah, he chose the wings of the wind. Right.
The wings of the wind, man. Not actual literally wings.
Right.
And their feet were straight feet, and the sole of their feet were like the sole of a calf's foot, and they sparkled like the color of burnished brass.
All right, so up under these chariots, right, were glowing, and they had the feet of like a calf's foot, so it had like a little, it was circle, and you know how a calf's foot is, and it had that little like groove in it.
Like right? V-shape, because like it's V-shape. That's that cloven gap that underneath the calf's foot. Verse 8, and they had the hands of a man under their wings on their 4 sides.
All right, real quick. Go back to 7 again, read 7 again, and then go 2 Samuel.
And their feet were straight feet, and the sole of their feet were like the sole of a calf's foot, and they sparkled like the color of a burnished brass.
All right, so they were sparkling and they were spinning. All right, dazzling, man. All right, and they had the circle around, and they had the little indentation in it. So it was like the sole of a calf's foot. If you Google what up under a calf's foot, that's what you're gonna see. And this is what they were riding up on top of. All right.
And this is 2 Samuel chapter 22, and I'll start at verse 7. In my distress, I call upon the Lord.
All right, this is I think it's King David.
It's King David.
All right, this is King David saying a prayer, and it's gonna describe how in the vision that how Yahweh Shai, how Yahweh
they delivered him out of the hands of his enemies.
Right.
Philistines. And it's verse 7. In my distress, I call upon the Lord and cried to my power. And he did hear my voice out of his temple. And my cry did enter into his ears. Right.
And Yahweh Shai hears our cries now, man.
So it entered into the ears of the Lord of Sabbath oath.
Right.
Armies.
The Lord of armies, man. Troops. So when he shows up with the host of heaven, he's talking about the armies, the angels, man. When he shows up with their wings, man, the wings meaning the chariots. And the angels truly represent the feathers, right? All right? All right, go ahead.
Then the earth shook and trembled. The foundations of heaven moved and shook because he was wroth. There went up a smoke out of his nostrils, and fire out of his mouth devoured. Coals were kindled by it.
That's the fierce anger of the Lord. Go ahead.
He bowed the heavens also and came down, and darkness was under his feet. And he rode upon the cherub and did fly.
He rode upon the cherub and did fly, man. Go ahead.
And he was seen upon the wings of the wind.
Seen upon the wings of the wind, man. That's the chariots, man. The cherub, he did fly. He was seen upon the wings of the wind. All right, not he didn't have the wings of the wind on his back. No, he was seen upon the wings of the wind. All right, that was it, all the way to 11.
Verse 11. Yeah, God, that was it.
All right, yeah, Psalm 18 and 10.
And this is Psalms chapter 18 and verse 10. And he rode upon a cherub and did fly. Yeah, he did fly upon the wings of the wind.
So that's just backing up that scripture that we just read. Okay. All right. So we reference to the Lord of armies, the Lord of Sabaoth, and on how Yahweh Shem Yahushua is going to show up.
All
right.
Like you I just stated, man, and the wings would actually represent the feathers.
Actually,
the angels would actually represent the feathers. You know, and you can see that in Psalms 91.
All right. Let me get a scripture real quick. Actually, Yahushua is showing up in the name of Yahweh, right? Because we say Yahweh by Shem Yahushua, but you know what I'm saying? That's how we speak to Yahweh. In the name of Yahushua, please grant this to me. But in reference of what's going to happen, Yahushua is coming in the name of his Father. All right, because he said he came to do his Father's business. All right, he says he's going to come in the glory of his Father and his glory, the glory of his Father, and the glory of the holy angels, man. All right, so this is I want to get Psalms 68 and 17. It says, the chariots of Yahweh are 20,000, even thousands of angels. The Lord Yahushua is among them, as in Sinai, in the holy place. All right, so now that's how the Lord's going to show up, like how it's described in Ezekiel. With the main chariot in the front and the wings, all right, and they all have their duties, they all have their purpose, all right. You want to go back to Ezekiel? What did we get? Psalm 18 and 10.
Yeah, we got that.
All right, let's get Psalm 91. Let's start at verse 1.
This Psalm 91 and 1. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty.
All right, and that secret place is really dwelling in these scriptures, man. All right. Dwelling. That's why it says, "Rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell therein, and woe to the inhabitants of the earth." Everybody's just trying to be a part of this right here. All right, so we're rejoicing at the things that we see coming to pass, man. All right, because we're rejoicing. It says, "Where your treasure is, that's where your heart shall be also." All right, that's why it says in Jeremiah, "Flee out of the midst of Babylon," right? Meaning not leave, but get our mind out of this place and focus on heavenly things.
Spiritually.
All right, so he that dwelleth, read that again, Baba Kushan.
He that dwelleth, this Psalms 91 and 1. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty.
Boom, I shall abide under the shadow, the covering, all right? That's spiritual and physical, all right?
I will say of the Lord, he is my refuge and my fortress, my power, in him will I trust.
So we're going to trust in Yahweh Shem Yahushua that he's going to fulfill his promise and send these chariots down here to rescue us, man. And the angels that are inside the chariots to do the delivering and reaping, all right?
Their duties.
Their duties.
Surely he shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler.
And who is that fowler? Esau setting up traps. One of his traps is iconoclasm by painting images of the angels having wings and things like that, creating a stumbling block for a lot of people. There's a lot of people that still think the angels have wings and things like that.
And from the noisome pestilence, he shall cover thee with his feathers.
All right, the noisome pestilence. All right,
the missiles.
The
destruction. You know, so he go deliver thee from the snare of the fowler, the trap that Esau set up, which is what, the hour of temptation, and ultimately the climax of it all, the missiles, the noisome pestilence. It says, verse 4: He shall cover thee with his feathers, and under his wings shall thy trust.
All right, and he covered thee with his feathers, meaning the angels giving the angels charge of you over thee. And under his feathers, read that again.
Verse 4: He shall cover thee with his feathers, and under his wings shall thy trust.
All right, so under his wings thou shalt trust. Keep going. And wings being the chariots.
His truth shall be thy shield and buckler. And this is verse 3. Surely he shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler and from the noisome pestilence. And he shall cover thee with his feathers, and under his wings shalt thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler. Thou shalt not be afraid from the terror by night, nor for the arrow that fleeth by day.
All right, it's like the terror by night is the martial law troops, and the arrow by day is the destruction. All right, the missiles.
Verse 6, nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness.
All right, well, the point was, go back, the point was in 4, with the feathers and the wings. All right, so now, so understanding that, the feathers and the wings, the feathers being the angels and the wings being the chariots, all right?
And what back that up is verse 11. For he shall give his angels charge over thee to keep thee in all thy ways. They shall bear thee up in their hands, lest thou dash thy foot against a stone. And that's the angels and those feathers keeping charge over thee, man.
All right, yeah, go back to Ezekiel 1 and 7.
This is Ezekiel, this is back in Ezekiel chapter 1 and verse 7. And their feet were straight feet, and the sole of their feet was like the sole of a calf's foot, and they sparkled like the color of burnished brass. And they had the hands of a man under their wings on their 4 sides.
All right, so their hands up underneath, meaning the power of Yahweh was power in those chariots. They don't need no gas, no nothing like that. They were powered by Yahweh. All right, read that one more time.
Verse 8. And they had the hands of a man under their wings on their 4 sides.
And so on their 4 sides. So the power of these angels, this fleet of chariots, right, in the V formation, in battle formation, had the wings on each side, meaning they had their coverings, meaning 2 angels right here and 2 angels right there.
And that clearly shows that the wings are not on a man's back, you know, and that's not what's causing them to fly. And this is verse 9. Their wings were joined one to another. They turned not when they went. They went every one straight forward. All
right, so they came to do business, man. They followed the lead chariot. They didn't turn wherever they went. All right, we get Isaiah chapter 6, verse 1.
Come on. It's Isaiah chapter 6 and verse 1. In the year that King Josiah died, I saw also the Lord sitting upon a throne.
All right, so this is the vision that Isaiah saw, okay?
High and lifted up, and his train filled the temple.
All right, and that's the spirit, and that's the spirit of Yahweh Shem Shai, that's the spirit of Yahweh Shai
being poured among all flesh.
All right, and cleaving unto the elect. All right.
Above it stood the seraphims. Each one had 6 wings. With twain he covered his face.
All right, so each one had 6 wings, right? 6 chariots. With 2 he covered his face.
And with twain he covered his feet.
And 2 he covered his feet. All right. 2 in front, 2 in back. All right.
And with twain he did fly.
All right, and he flew upon, and 2 he flew. All right.
And one cried unto another and said, Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts. The whole earth is full of his glory.
All right, and that's how the Lord's going to show up. The glory of his Father with his glory and the glory of the holy angels on them chariots. All right. All right. Let me get Revelation 19 and 14. All right,
it's Revelation chapter 19 and verse 14. And the armies which were in heaven followed him upon white horses, clothed in fine linen, white and clean.
Fine linen represents righteousness, man. And that's how the Lord's going to show up in righteousness on those chariots, man. Just like anytime you have references, what is that? Shall entertain angels unawares?
Yeah, shall entertain angels unawares.
All right, anytime you had accounts where look at it in the book of Tobit, when Tobias went on a journey for his father, all right, and he was accompanied by Raphael Allah. He looked just like a man, because he would have known he was an angel if he had wings coming out of his back. And right, so I mean, even with in the book of Judges,
you would be aware at that point.
You would be aware that it was an angel, all right?
This Hebrews 13:2. Be not forgetful to entertain strangers, for thereby some have entertained angels unawares.
So thereby some have entertained angels unawares, man. So if they had wings in their back, like, you know what I'm saying? You would understand, you would know that it was an angel. Yeah. But no, they said they had the likeness of a man, of men. So that's exactly how they look. Revelations 1:13 to 17 gives the description of Yahweh Shai, the top, the one right up under Yahweh. He didn't have no wings on his back. He could fly, because he explains that when he flew up on top of his chariot in the in 2nd Ezra chapter 13. All right, but there's nowhere given in the scriptures where the angels have wings on their backs, or the angels have wings on their body. The wings represent the chariots, and that's it. Period. All right, we got any more scriptures?
That's all I got on that. That's pretty much clear.
All right, so just for some edification purposes, man, to just to clarify that the angels do not have wings, man. The wings represent the chariots. All right, Lord, what is lesson on edifying the service purpose? And with that, I'd like to say, Kal, Alayim, La, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Ha, Rakah, Kodash, Ma. Double honors to the elder apostles of the great millstone and my elder Harold Wine as well. Salutations to the icon that are put in the truth and sincerity and truth. And peace and blessing to the men, women, and children that believe in the name of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Shalom.
Shalom.